I'd like to focus on this idea or word of empath or empathic. You know, we are on a spectrum. What I can see as being empathic, sensing what is here in the room, what is felt. But it's a word that's made me very curious. What is an empath? What is empathy? And what is empathy when it comes to mindfulness? Where are they on the spectrum? And it makes me wonder, because when I was young, especially in, say, elementary school, I would just feel something. And it was clear to me, but I would just blurt it out. And I realized it got me into a lot of kind of sticky reactions or difficult reactions, because as I look back now, likely someone didn't know that they even felt that way. That maybe they wanted to hide or not allow others to see that emotion. And so not knowing and just blurting out what I felt or saw was something that was confusing. I didn't know what I was experiencing and why was someone upset if I were to name it. So the word empathy or empathic is interesting in the practice. When we feel emotion, when we feel certain things, when we sense something. And we can start to see, or at least I can start to see, how easy it is to get lost, whether it's my own or it's others' emotion. Watching a commercial, start crying because it's just taking on like whatever comes. Like I can see how quickly it can happen, just getting lost, and there's no sense of steadiness or solidness in that moment. It's just like, I'm in that struggle, I'm in that whatever horrible thing is happening, and I'm just lost. And I've seen how the reaction in my body can suffer. How I've been, my digestive system just goes amok, and I have to sleep, and I'm out for a week. If I get lost in that emotion without any sense of strength of the practice, I suffer greatly. So I can see how if I am just being with empathy, if I'm getting lost in empathy without the steadiness of the practice, I suffer. But I also see how the other side can happen. Instead of taking it on, I can try and push it all away. That's your stuff. I don't want that. Don't put that on me. That's like it's like trying to make it not here, not have to sit with it. Push away that empathy. And again, I can see I struggle. I suffer if I do that. It's a lot of work to try and push something away and not feel it and make sure that somebody else deals with it. It's a lot of work. So what is this empathy or empath thing when it comes to practice? And one thing I remember is Jack Kornfield sitting there, and each person that came up just gently holding their hand so faintly, so doe-like. And each person would come up, it's like hundreds of them, and they would just pour out all their struggles onto him, everything they had gone through. And you could just see he was just filled with such love. He was just filled with like endless amounts of welcoming and steadiness. You could see he was not being whisked away in their struggles. And they would give him all kinds of accolades of how he helped them. And he didn't get lost in that. So there was something there you could see. There's some kind of steadiness in this person that when all the struggles and suffering of the world came, he wasn't lost in it. He didn't suffer. What was that? So I'm starting to see, if I am going to be a compassionate listener, a compassionate presence, If I continue to be just empathic and get lost in the emotion or push it away, I will suffer. I will struggle. But if I listen with wanting another to feel less suffering, if I rest in my steadiness of the breath and the solidness of my body with gravity and space, and I feel that togetherness and that strength of practice, and I feel solid, I can feel how I can sit with suffering and embrace it and let the other person pour out. Now, not all the time, but it can happen. Or let even my own mind, let it pour out onto this compassionate listener. I don't want you to struggle. I'm so sorry. I am here with you. And it just keeps going. And it keeps going. And eventually one day, it feels heard. Eventually one day it feels calmer. And then we have a little gentle conversation of where do we go now? It's like we make friends. And we start to heal whatever that suffering was. So I want us to notice in our practice, whether it's our own mind and emotions or another, am I getting whisked away in their stuff? Am I getting whisked away in all the mind's images that come to me and I'm gone. I struggle. Or am I pushing it away? Can I start to be curious about a compassionate listener? Where we have a steady breath and a steady body and gravity. And it's ready and strong to sit with what comes. It doesn't want us to suffer. It doesn't want another to suffer. And let's see if now it feels a little bit more possible to sit with what comes. Okay? When you're ready, let's go back into our meditation posture of choice. There will be great struggles and great joys. Whether in our own being or in another. Imagine what it would be like to feel a steadiness in these great struggles or joys. To feel a solidness in these great struggles or joys. That is why we wait for the breath. Steadiness of the breath. The mind can sense this. The waves of the breath that always come. Feeling the in-breath. Feeling the out-breath. We train our steadiness so that one day, we will be able to sit with great compassion with whatever comes. waiting for the in-breath. And being together with the out-breath. We are one. I know those waves of breath will come. I am grateful for their steadiness. You must also fill in the weight of the lower body, the rootedness to the earth. That is why we wait for gravity. When I'm whisked away in emotion, there is no body, there is no breath. I wait for gravity. Wait until the body deeply rests downward. It's like a settling of fresh cement. The weight of the earth when it has rain and water. Feeling of the roots of a tree. Down into the earth. I am thankful for gravity and the body that helps me feel gravity, the mind. I remember that solidness of the practice. Breathing in, steady. Breathing out, solid. Breathing in, steady. And breathing out, solid. I can feel now the strength of the practice. I am that presence of steadiness and solidness. And with this presence of steadiness and solidness, the heart of compassion can listen. I am steady in the earth and the breath. My heart can open. I can see the struggles of others and in my own mind and body. From this compassionate listening. When I listen from here, I can be of help to you. can help ease your suffering and illuminate your joy. I understand now the importance of a steady and solid practice. I understand.